I've been clear that I'm more of a Star Wars guy than a Star Trek guy, but even I can say continuing what JJ Abrams has been doing is probably not in the best interest of the franchise. Yet, yes, the 2016 stories and life, it's still out there. A Star Trek 4 film from Abrams, a Andor director coming over to do a prequel of some kind. All these things are still in the work at Paramount, and I scratch my head going, I don't understand what your brand is and what you're going for, because from what I can see and where I sit, none of this stuff is working out particularly well. None of this stuff is actually helping your franchise. Like, it sort of ran its course and it's sort of mocked more than it is anything else. So, quote, this is Variety. A new Star Trek film is in the works at Paramount with Andor's Toby Haynes on board to direct and Seth Grahame-Smith penning the script. He's hit and miss, by the way. The plot details are kept under wraps. Upcoming feature will be an origin story set decades before. So we're going to retcon the prequels even more with, I guess, George Kirk and maybe Pike, as well as the expansion of the Star Trek universe, JJ Abrams. So this is the fourth installment. So that's the Abrams project. Remains in development with the studio describing it as the final chapter. Okay. So the 2016 Star Trek Beyond, they crashes. Talking about the Idris Elba film. All right. Pine is confirmed to being back. That was in 2016. Everyone else expected to be back. Chris Hemsworth expected to be back. Oh, Lord. Star Trek 4 would see Pine's Captain Kirk cross paths with his father. Some more time jumping crap. Oh, dear Lord. Who was, quote, a man he never had a chance to meet, but whose legacy has haunted him since the day he was born. Yeah, that's what part of what makes Kirk is letting him having some baggage, unresolved issues. Oh, you guys are not, there's just morons. During a Paramount Global Investors Day of February 22, it was talking about shooting. Pine and his co-stars really have no idea that Paramount is moving forward. So it was removed from the slate later that year. Then it's talking about Andor, it's talking about Black Mirror, other things these other people have done. Deadline, I guess, reported this first. Do any of you want this? I mean, I know there was talks of like their Tarantino Trek film at one point, and there was sort of like a mixed feeling on that in some ways. I don't think that they would ever do anything sort of like hardcore enough, if you will. But that is kind of, what you might see if you did a Tarantino thing. To get the Andor guy to come over for what? To get a watered down film with the prequel backstories, and you're going to retcon more stuff and anger and alienate the core fans for what the fictional new fans that you don't really have, but you think you have. I mean, look, I understand there's a debate. It's like, what is better, Star Wars, Star Trek? And now it's like, what is worse, Star Wars, Star Trek? Which one's been destroyed more? Look, how about we just acknowledge that it's all being stepped on, disrespected, rewritten, destroyed. And I feel like they're going to do some sort of retcon with Kirk that would make him less of who he was. And that's pretty much what they will do. Anything they can do to disrespect these classic hero archetypes and influential characters in their IPs, because they want these newer IPs. And I don't know what the residual money is. I don't know what the royalties look like. I don't know. Because maybe it is cost savings. I know it is on the comic book side. But I guess my thing is doesn't Trek, with all the stuff that's happened, like with the Discovery and Picard and what's it called? The one with the decks. I have zero desire to watch it. I just think to myself, isn't it the same thing that Star Wars needs to do? Is just kind of needs to take a breath, like take a pause, figure out what you want to do, figure out what direction you want to go, and then, put together some really passionate people about the IP and put together something that will really be good going forward. But sounds like everything else, content for the sake of content, retcon, deconstruction of characters, disrespect characters and fans. You don't like it, you'll be the problem. Just feels like they're just putting the softball in the tee. Like, everybody's talking about Disney. Well, we could do that to fans too. So how about us? So Am I giving this the proper read, guys? Those of you that are big fans of all this and stuff like that, am I giving this the proper look and the evaluate everything? You guys will definitely set me straight, so I'm not worried about being completely off base. But um, I just can't see any. This is the one situation where I'm like, definitely not, definitely not. So that's my take and read on it. Love to hear from you guys. I am Pops.